Welcome to Yorkshire, a county where rain is one of the favourite topics of conversation. It's rained today already and I'm pretty much certain that it's going to rain again. The river's high, conditions are unfavourable, but we mudlarks are intrepid and I have a very special guest. So today I'm back at the big municipal dump site and the Bottle Beach with one of the people who's inspired me and so many others to make mudlarking videos.
Hello.
My first find of the day. Let's see what's interesting. Something with a honeycomb pattern. Okay, and teeth. It's probably something quite common and to do with building, but I haven't seen anything quite like it before. Please do let me know what it is if you know. And a bottle. Wine bottle by the looks of it. Pretty standard. Let's see. Yep. It's exactly the same as modern ones. Oh, a pipe bowl. Looks like an O'Brien one. I've got one of those, so I'm going to leave this one for Nicola to find. I will check out this though. Little embossed soft drinks bottle. I'll probably take it. Little glass bottle stopper, a brown one with a collar. First one I found that looks like this. I'm guessing it was for a medicine bottle. And a spoon. I think this would have been for travelling or camping. And maybe another spoon would have slotted into this handle to keep them together. We found a date, August 27th, 1936, so 83 years since it was printed and somehow survived underground for most of that time. This is the main exposed bit of the dump, a 10-metre thick layer sitting on clay and bleeding iron oxide bottles and relics where the river has cut into it. It's a much bigger site than what's been exposed, and the river is higher than most times I've been here, but still, I think there'll be plenty of things to find. Unusually tall, no branding on it unfortunately. Bit of lead, sadly quite usual to find here. I take as much of it for recycling as I can carry. I just walked over this, but it's something. Something brass, I think. Kidney dish? No, can't be, can it? Too flat, no walls. Seems to be caked in mushed up paper. That will come off, hopefully the brass underneath is relatively intact. Lid of a mustard pot. Little pot. And a whole lot of muck. Oh, wow. Well, again, it's not really to my taste, but I found gold. A tiny little bit of gold in the gilding, which would cost far more to extract than the gold is actually worth, so I shall leave it. First things first, a tiny bit of brass, possibly a rivet head, and then the little pewter cup. Which could be an egg cup or a school sports day participation trophy perhaps. Maybe both. A little medicine bottle with Boots Chemists embossed on it. vulcanite bottle stopper. Oh, in its original intact bottle. I'm guessing T. Ramsden and Sons. Yep, a well-known brewery about 12 miles away, founded in 1797 and ran up until the mid-1960s. I found similar stoppers and similar bottles before, and somehow I can remember the founding year of this company, but I can't remember the memorable word for my online banking login. Oh well. Ooh, now that looks like a definite keeper. Little Red Elephant. Oh, I'm surprised the trunk survives. Unsurprised 2 of the legs are gone, but I'm happy. I love animals, I love old toys, and I do really love finding them out in the wild.
Oh my gosh, Tom has just found the most beautiful lead elephant. I'm green with envy. Is it lead? Look at that! Isn't that amazing? What a beautiful elephant. I wonder whose toy room he was in. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, Tom.
Bit of lead. Big chunk of brass. No, little lead toy figure. Strange looking. I don't think he's supposed to be entirely human. Curious. Lots of mushrooms growing up there. And down here in the fresh fallen earth, I've spotted a little cobalt blue poison bottle. And it's intact. Wonderful. A little trinket box made of, I'm not sure, but it's rotted and crumbling and slightly green, so maybe a nickel alloy.
Let's have a look. Oh my gosh! Tom just pointed something out to me. Oh, look at this. It's a tiny little mouse. Well, that's so funny. You found the elephant and now you found the mouse. Because elephants are supposed to be terrified of mice. Look at this. So adorable. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Big piece of lead. And a gorgeous glass bottle stopper, which I'd guess was originally from a perfume bottle. And down there is the teensiest, tiniest little milk glass bead. Too small for the camera to really focus on. Just as the rain comes, let's check on Nicola. She seems happy. Ooh, a pedestal, and how very Victorian it is. I do have a use for this if I have the space and strength to carry all the other things too. Like this, little lead toy soldier, missing head and feet as is customary.
Oh, very nice. Let's hold them up against the river. Little companions. Oh, he's a beauty, isn't he? It's funny how they're always headless, isn't it?
Yeah.
These lead headless soldiers. It's quite a mouthful.
Bottle. Intriguing piece of cast iron. A decorative bracket, I think. I'm going to take it for electrolysis. Seems to be a day for lead toy animals. I think that's a rather damaged horse. A little button under here. Plastic and plain, but I'll take it. Bit of lead. Looks like it's got something engraved on it. An 8. Nothing else.
I've just seen the most beautiful little elephant. the perfect companion to Tom's elephant that he found. Just look at that, isn't it gorgeous? Very flat, but absolute darling little elephant. I'm happy now, I've got an elephant. It's funny because you got an elephant, I got an elephant, I got a blue bottle, you got a blue bottle.
Little piece of cobalt blue glass sticking out. Broken though, thank goodness. I wouldn't attempt an extraction even if it was whole because I should not be right here. I think that's going to be falling. Probably not today, but soon. So I shall move on. Mud, mud, glorious mud. I've gone and gotten my wellies stuck in it. It's deep and it's grabby and I might just climb up there instead. This end of the dump is older, as in it's longer since the river last cut into it, so the finds are much sparser, but burnt wire, I will take that. Little clay bead. Mushrooms growing out of the cliff face. Look like grey oyster mushrooms to me, but oyster mushrooms in the wild grow healthiest in rotting wood, and these ones look like they've had a terrible diet of junk food. Copper wire. Looks like a whole lot of it came down in this clump. Steel cable. So maybe remnants of a telephone pole setup. Anyway, I'm going to harvest all the easily accessible copper, which won't be very fun to watch, so... This is a first for me. I've never found a seltzer bottle before out in the wild, and it's nice 1920s-ish design, and it's even got some branding on it. If it wasn't in just such terrible shape, I'd take it. Milk of magnesia bottle. It's screw top, not hugely old, but I'm going to take it anyway because I've not seen one like this before. They don't usually have anywhere near this much writing on them. Can see the imprint of a bottle in the clod it's fallen out of. Oh wow, that's cool. My very first sheer top poison bottle. I've just spotted this little Victorian figurine, or at least dressed in a 19th century style, and she looks intact. Part of a poison bottle, which suggests there may be good bottles to find at this far end, if only I can spot them amongst all this decaying vegetation. Another big jar, plain colour though. Bit of wire, broken something. Again, I seem to have found myself beneath a precarious overhang, which is not a sensible place to be. So many bottles, and none I want to risk prying out of the unstable cliff face. Kinda looks like there might have been a bottle digger having a scrape around here. I wonder how those bits of wood are still parallel. Did they go into the dump at the same time? Were they connected as part of an object or framework? My curiosity is not great enough to make an attempt to find out. Interesting arrangement of tile, probably for prettifying some plumbing or heating thing. I see drugs. Gabapentin. Okay, that's not something that I should leave in the waterway. Neither the plastic nor the drugs would be good for wildlife. Nicola's filming the mushrooms. Looks like, yes, part of a paraffin lamp. Looks like it's in potentially good enough shape to restore, but it's a common thing and I'll probably put it in a melt pile instead. That's a cute little bottle, almost entirely impractical, unless it was a perfume bottle meant to be carried in a bag and never stood up. I'll take it, and I'll at least take a look at this, see what it is. Just a jar. Little bit of a toy, lead or an alloy of lead. And there, which I have spotted before today, but was leaving till the way out, a big piece of lead tubing. Definitely on the way now to the beach, but that looks like part of a doll. It is, an ear, and I do collect these for hypothetical craft projects. I see another possibility of a figurine. Figurine possibly once, but taking it today, no. Looks like an ink pot. It is, it's whole, and quite a nice one. This whole shelf does look like it's going to come down when the water rises high again. I doubt it will fall away beneath me. And what a beautiful little shaggy mane mushroom with attached spider's webs.
Not only did I find a little elephant, but there's also a little cow. These little lead toys that would have been in some child's playroom at some point. And now I'm going to clean them up and give them a home, so they'll be loved once more, rescued from the riverbank.
The river's been through here and parts of the beach are still underwater, so we might be the first to have a look and find some of the better freshly dropped things. All the plants dying back and revealing the terrible mess. I do like finding these. Little stoneware ink pot in excellent condition. And that looks like a figurine, missing its head of course. Oh, now that was unexpected. I've never been a huge fan of clowns, they're just not funny. But maybe I can make something fun or horrifying with it. That looks like a golf ball. I take these not as a collectible, but they're partly plastic, and plastic shouldn't be in the rivers. Bit of bone too, which I'm undecided about. Full jawbone, which I'll pick up on my way back. Child's welly, and a cute little bottle. Tiny bottle, and figurine. Oh, she's still got her head. Missing her arms and her feet, but otherwise surprisingly intact, and some very fine craftsmanship in her manufacture. Blue, possibly a bead, I'm not sure. And the tiny bottle is, I think it might be actually black glass. Another golf ball. And this huge chunk of plastic, housing for a vacuum cleaner motor, which I will take even though it's big and heavy. Oh, a little button too, or at least most of one. I've just found this, which is likely the chunkiest bit of pipe stem I've ever found. It has a serial number which I can research. And no maker's mark. Here comes the rain again. I got a bit wet reaching for this in deep water, but it looked so interesting and I think it was worth it. It's intriguing and mysterious. Can anyone tell me what it is? Or rather was, I doubt it's complete. I see a pipe ball. Oh wow. It's so rare that I find one that's anything other than plain here in Yorkshire. I think this one's supposed to be a horse's hoof. Though I'd be very worried for any horse that had an ankle bent at 90 degrees like this. I suspect it's an injury that the vet would consider to be too severe to recover from. Water pistol, I think. Too modern to be from the dump. I'll take it, but first the second pipe ball in quick succession. And it's also more fancy than I usually find, though it's still pretty plain really, and no maker's mark that I can see. I'm happy to find it regardless. Little puddle in a man-made container. Or is it man-made? Perhaps it's just man-shaped. It's heavy, like ceramic, but looks like tortoiseshell. Probably too thick to be that though, surely? 3 little dimples on the underside, perhaps for a stand. What a strange little item. Cauldron for a pixie, maybe. Anyone have any other outlandish ideas? Another vulcanised rubber stopper. And again it's Ramsden and Sons from Stone Trough, Halifax. And another different style. Bit of a tile, which I might grab, might not. Cute little bottle. Ink pot, but I'll never get that iron stain out. Ooh, as rusted enamel things go, this one's quite unusual. A sink, I think. Or perhaps just a funnel. Too far gone anyway, and I can't think of a compelling reason to save it. There it is. I think I found one of these every time I've visited this beach, and I still don't know what they held. Does anyone know for certain? That's a curious thing. Is it a jumper? No head hole that I can see. So a soft stuffed comforter perhaps. not currently looking very comforting. Bit of a pelvis. Not sure what from. Sheep bones are common here, as are pig. No. Neither of these are appealing. So many bottles, but nothing standing out to me as interesting. Maybe that. Looks like a tank. And that's exactly what it's supposed to be. An early style, probably First World War, with the remains of a coat of arms. So, a commemorative piece? Perhaps given out to members of a battalion, or something else entirely. And there's something else down there. Little ceramic cap off of something. Tembe. Didn't Tembe make bicycles? Strange material to use as a tyre cap, but perhaps that's what it is. Sheer top bottle with ridges down the sides. Could it be? It is. My second sheer top poison bottle of ever. Ooh, rarely see an ink pot with a cap still on. Might be screw top, but I don't care, I like it. Oh, can it be? I've never found a whole one before, so many fragments, loads of stoppers, but this, if it's intact, is another first for me. Yay, it's intact. Missing its stopper, but I've probably got one that'll fit. It's a small one, child size maybe. Well, I'm happy with that. Another one. Looks like the cap of this one is made of brass though, rather than plastic. Oh gosh, is it a day for firsts? Could it be my first intact cod bottle? Slight chip in top, and I think it's missing the marble. It's still the most complete one I've ever found, and I might take it on that basis, but the search continues. Oh well, it's still a good day. Conical bottle. No. I see a bit of brass, which is always a yes. Even if it's just a band from around a paintbrush, I can melt it down and turn it into something new, or at least I will be able to when I buy a forge. Now that is an ugly little pot, but it's amazing how delicate it is, and yet it has survived.
I have just seen a really odd pipe, the likes of which I haven't seen before. Look, see if you can see it. I'm going to go over it. At least I think it's a pipe. It looks like a pipe, but a very odd looking pipe. Look at that. Look at this. Oh my goodness, that is just something else. Oh, I haven't seen a pipe like that before. This is great.
Drain pipe looked more interesting. And a golf ball. Milk glass. Probably a Pond's cream jar. Doesn't say so though, so maybe a rival brand. Oh, this piece seems to stick around this beach. I swear it's the same piece of poison bottle that's featured in quite a few of my visits here. It's never been underwater though. Okay, big rusty canister of something. I think it's probably a fire extinguisher. Wouldn't be the first one of those I've found here, though it's certainly the biggest and the most corroded, and I sadly can't countenance carrying it out of here, so I'm not even going to try to think of a project I could use it in. Instead, I shall walk away. I see legs, and perhaps a torso, maybe more. Okay, this is quite nice, quite upcyclable. I can do something with this. Another army-related piece. And it's got a coat of arms too, different from the other one. So, looking more like a collectible series then, rather than a commemorative thing given to soldiers or their families. That's a shame, but I'll probably still take it. After I wash all the mud out of it. That'll do. Roundup time. And what a day it was. I got to meet one of the main inspirations behind me starting to make mudlarking videos. She's a very nice person, genuinely keen to help smaller channels like mine, and infectiously enthusiastic about scrambling about in some of the worst rainstorm conditions, hunting down treasures. I found so many things that I can't show them all. All this here is just the most interesting and prettiest things. I've never found quite so many doll pieces, and I think I've got enough now to create a craft monstrosity, which I promised as a possibility in one of my first videos. That might be fun. A variety of ceramic, glass and vulcanized rubber bottle stoppers, a lot of little links to history that's mostly gone now, breweries and companies long since folded into larger companies or shut forever. I found 9 golf balls, which isn't quite a record for me, but the record day was exploring the whole vast dump site and beyond, so 9 in the 2 small areas we went to suggests a driving range 5 miles upriver got flooded. This was a mudlarking bucket list item for me. They're not rare, they're not valuable, but I've seen so many smashed pieces of Victorian foot warmers and found so many of the stoppers for them, so I really wanted to find a whole one. And now I have. And I didn't even know if it was a child-sized one, so I'm doubly happy. Now I have to get rid of it, because it's big and useless to me, and finding one was the desire, certainly not the having one, or the finding of a place for it in my increasingly full spaces. This metalwork is nowhere near all that I took out of that site during this outing, but is kind of representative. I found a lot of wire, which I'm always happy about, too much lead, which I'm never all that happy about carrying, but does have reasonable scrap value, and this thing, which is far too pretty to countenance melting down, and I'd like to know more about it. If you have any ideas for what it was, please do comment. Sadly, the kidney dish-shaped thing was riddled with bronze disease, but interesting patterner. Might be able to use it in a craft project someday. This little ceramic thing, when I found it, I thought it was an air cap for a tyre, and more specifically from a bike. But no, it's something used in old wiring and would have gone over to join bits of electrical wire. Less romantic perhaps, but learning the truth of an item is rarely as romantic as imagination. When it is, though, it's treasure. So, clay pipes. I found a few. Nicola found at least 3 times as many. She has a reputation for being good at finding pipes, and yes, that reputation is very much deserved. I'm very pleased to have found this horse's hoof one. I didn't think there were many such things here up north. I've only ever found plain ones before, but Nicola found them. Strange ones and beautiful ones. Maybe they've been here all along, and it just takes someone so attuned to pipe shapes as Nicola is to find them. If you like clay pipes, you should definitely check out her video from the day. She found some great pipe bowls. Actually, you should check out her videos regardless. Some buttons, beads, marbles and ball bearings, a reflector which I reckon is probably off a bike, lots of lead toys, and while I think that, for my taste at least, the best two of the day were found by Nicola, being the elephant in profile and a motorbike, I am happy to have found so many and such a range. I'm particularly happy with what I originally thought could possibly be a representation of Mr. Toad, of Toad Hall, from Wind in the Willows, though I can't find an image of a character dressed exactly the same, and the theme of frogs dressed up in top hat and tailcoats has appeared in art for well over a century. I found a human tooth. I do pick up animal bones and skulls for some of my artist friends who do creative things with them, and I did find the jawbones of both a pig and a sheep on this outing, but this is the first obviously human remain that I found. I doubt any authority would be interested in me reporting it to them, though. It's not like it was in the same place it went into the river, and it's not like an inside bone which has fewer non-death related opportunities to escape the body. Sorry if that's a little macabre. I am a bit sometimes. Anyway, quite an interesting range of ceramic things too. Army-related things. I don't know quite what their original purpose was, whether it was commemorative or decorative. Not what I'm going to do with them. I can use a Mozart-like figurine, giving him female replacement limbs and head, probably not human replacements. I can probably do something similar for the seated girl missing her arms and lower legs, and I don't know if it's possible, but I might try to make the clown even more horrifying than it would originally have been. It'll be quite a creative challenge, if nothing else. The mouse is obviously a wonderful find, but I can't do anything to it, so I have to do something for it. So maybe a miniature diorama in which the mouse takes the place of a human character. Kitsch and cliché perhaps, but who cares? It might be fun. So, bottles, and a disclaimer. At this stage I've only given them a first stage cleaning. There's plenty more to do which will take more time and effort than I've been able to give them so far. I found my very first and my second sheer top poison bottles. I'm very happy about that. Plus a few other poison bottles as well. So many that I could accidentally crack one in a cleaning related accident, miss it out of a display, and its absence only be known because I'm admitting to it. It was a fine example too. I'm very sad about that, but happy I didn't break the rest. I came as close as I've ever come to finding an intact cod bottle. Close, but no marble. A few nice beer bottles, and I believe I've got some bottle stoppers that match up to them. Of course I found milk glass, I always do there, just like I always find ink pots and a great range of tiny bottles, all of which I'm happy to find, even when I can't always think of much to say about them. They will all go into my shed with the others, cleaned more thoroughly in batches, and eventually found new homes. I only really want to keep one of each type of bottle for myself because of limited space, with the exception of poison bottles and cod bottles, and Hamilton bottles if I ever find any. And so this video draws towards its close. I really enjoyed that outing. We got cold and wet and muddy, and the filming conditions were less than ideal, but we found lots of things and it was wonderful meeting Nicola. I hope she enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have liked it, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to, hit the bell icon to enable notifications, comment, share, donate, buy or ignore. Thank you all very much for watching, and for now, goodbye.